Guys. Hello, everyone. Hopefully, we are live. Actually, live. Hey, guys. So, let's talk a little bit. We're going to take a drive and we're going to talk. Because we need to talk about some stuff. Like a bunch of stuff that I just need to talk about, and we need to have a conversation. So, first off, let's start with Joe Rogan. I don't really watch him. I have watched some interviews that he's done. I appreciated the interview that he did with Elon Musk. I thought that was a really good interview. I thought it was weird, obviously, that they sat there on the stream and did something on stream. I thought that was a little bit weird, but other than that, I thought it was a decent interview and I thought it was cool. But I also am all right. So let me just state that for people that are new to the channel, you might not know much about me or the channel or anything like that. I've been doing martial arts for most of my life, probably since I was about 9 or 10 years old, something like that. It was around there. And first I took several years of karate. Just decided I didn't like it, and it was easy. They were holding me back. So I wanted to learn Kung Fu, which is, because I have researched it even when I was younger and decided that, that's where a lot of the martial arts started and stuff like that, and it just got watered down and subdivided. So I wanted to learn Kung Fu, but actual real combative, real martial arts. So I just found a good school. So I ended up learning from some of the best, which doesn't usually happen. A lot of times, especially with martial arts, it's really, really hard to find a good instructor, and B, somebody that's actually extremely knowledgeable on specifically the Chinese martial arts too. Because just how old it is, and I don't know. Hopefully, we're not being cut out. Let me start driving. But hopefully, we're not being cut out. You guys can hear me and everything. Let me start driving, and then, because usually it does sort of kind of have a little bit of an issue here. But because of how old it is, and just how many times it's been subdivided, passed around, and watered down, forgotten, or just pieces of it, big chunks of it and stuff like that. It's the sort of thing where it is hard to find those, between being a good instructor and then B, also somebody that knows the actual knowledge, the real actual stuff. I can educate you guys all the live long day. So could Jackie Chan, Jet Li, or any of those guys. All you gotta do is backdate it. You watch some of those old movies, they're actually based on the stuff that actually happened. Like warlords and stuff like that. You had, people being trained for, we'll just say warfare, combative warfare, hand-to-hand type stuff, And so, like you have to consider before firearms, before all that stuff, and, these were martial artists, so that escalate into the warfare. So like essentially you wanted to be able to you know, take care of business as quickly as possible, and you know, like that's the point. Is it got to that point where like these guys were so skilled to, you know, essentially be able to use that ability to expertly take down, you know, as many as possible, as quickly as possible, with you know, more to go, you know, like they just keep going. And so when, oh my God, are these, we have ducks. There's ducks. Hello, ducks. There's just ducks in the road. Hold on, can you guys see it? You see them? That's fine. There's just like some ducks in the road. They're just hanging out. I bet it's because it's like raining and stuff. That's pretty funny. I wonder where they're going. They're probably going down. There's a. Sorry. It was my bad. Hopefully you guys heard all that anyway. But anyway, let me get back on topic here. I was gonna open this, but let me get back on topic here. We're gonna park for a moment. Reception's a little bit better here. We're gonna park for a moment. Okay, so with Joe Rogan, it's the sort of thing where he doesn't know everything, and what's unfortunate is like that I should even have to say it like that, because he could be a really smart guy and really well versed in what he's talking about if he would accept a few things, and he's just, it's sort of one of those people that saying certain things gets him numbers. So even if at this point he would go back in what he said, he would lose like his audience or like this people or that people, you know. Does that make sense? He's sort of kind of like that, and so take what he says with a grain of salt, but also here's what irritated me. All right, I didn't even want to talk about him, but here's what irritated me. He's looking at, I came across this video where he's like reacting to these masters, yeah, using that term of course loosely. He's reacting, it came across this video where he's like supposedly reacting to these masters that are, you know, of course doing the manipulation stuff where essentially they do the quick taps and the guy falls on the floor and, you know, like stuff like that. Okay, let me just say this one time. I might even say this more than once because it might need to be said more than once. Okay, that is stupid and not real, and anybody believes that what they see in some of those things, you're probably a conspiracy theorist too. But the fact that Joe Rogan went out of his way to sit there and react to it, but then also add on to the fact that all Chinese martial artists, all masters are now discredited just because these assholes are going out of their way to pretend like they're from the Matrix or something, and they can do superhuman things like knock people down by moving air and stuff like that. No. You can't do that. And the people doing this are lying. Joe Rogan reacting to it and saying all masters and like all the old school martial arts don't work because of this is incredibly irresponsible, and he's a douchebag for saying it. And he knows he's wrong, Because any martial artist that knows anything about martial arts would immediately know, looking at that, yeah, these guys are phonies. Duh. Does that make all of them phonies? No. Are you stupid? So Joe Rogan, like, in my opinion, he lost all credibility the moment he said something like that. So do not take anything he says literally about martial arts, with as fact or any type of knowledge at all, because that is plain as day. Yeah, like, you can't, obviously, guys, we already know. All right, let me tell you about the training that goes behind this, okay? Because I used to teach this, I was actually quite good at it. All right, so some of the upper levels of training when you get into the Chinese martial arts, what you start learning is like the relaxed touch, things where you're sort of using your hand really quickly like this. And I have a ring on, I don't want to. You're using your hands really quickly, kind of like this. And so essentially what you want to do is you want to realize that when you're doing this, you're moving air, okay? So if you want to get really, really good and really concentrated and really, really fluid with your movements and focus it precisely, some of the top level of training that goes behind this to learn the relaxed side of it, so you're not tensing when you do it, is to get a candle, set it up, light it, and try to knock it out, try to extinguish the flame by doing that. And I got pretty good. I got to the point where I was about 6-8 feet away. And some people saw me do it. Some of my students saw me do it. And that's the stuff that, like, I typically just wouldn't show anybody because I didn't want them to know how good I was at certain things. It's the sort of thing where, yes, you can move air. Are you going to knock somebody over with it? Fuck, no. God, no. I mean, come on. Can I Kamehameha? Can I spirit bomb somebody? No. But do I think chi exists and I can use that? Do I believe in body energy? Yes, because we proved that. That exists. You have the energy in your body equivalent to like about a 9-volt battery. Like, it's literally in there. And your whole body works on energy. You create it. Yeah, you don't create energy, but you are energy, essentially. So you are the energy. You are the generator. So no, you can't throw a beam across the room. No. Some of the stuff that people talk about with that came about because, all right, so like the Karate Kid. Let's talk about that. Everybody assumes immediately I'd like this movie. It's a classic. I love it as a classic for what it was. Do not consider this a good martial arts movie, though. Don't do it, because it's not. The martial arts that was in it was terrible. And it also, the actor that played Mr. Miyagi, he wasn't a martial artist either. They would like cut to a different guy and stuff. Anyway, regardless, I'm not going to talk too much on that. Regardless, the Karate Kid at the end, like the whole thing where he's doing this and he heals them and he heals them. Like this is like some of the top level like Tai Chi stuff that we talk about. And yeah, like a lot of people are completely oblivious to how this works. It's literally just a top level Tai Chi. You start off, like with sitting movements and stuff, and you learn to focus your body energy like I talked about. And you just learn more about Tai Chi. And believe it or not, a lot of the stuff that I learned about sparring, getting good at being quicker than other people and taking down a larger opponent, came naturally to me once I started doing that stuff. I started learning how to relax instead of tense up. Yeah, you think about anybody else that does something in life, like a drummer that plays drums, they get good because they start to learn how to relax, so they're not so tense. Guitar player, same thing. Anybody, any skill that you're proficient at, That's the point. The more relaxed you are with it, the better you are at it. So the Tai Chi essentially does the same thing. It tunes your body to martial arts, and it makes you more relaxed. It teaches you how to be that way. And so that's where some of this came from. We started, some of the masters and stuff started learning essentially that you could incorporate high concentration of heat and essentially just the fact that you are so good at martial arts, like you know the exact pressure point at which to hit based on what you see, how somebody's standing. I'm not making this up. The top level of Chinese martial arts, what you start learning how to do, is you literally just, you don't even think about it. It's muscle memory. If somebody's standing a certain way, you immediately know they're off balance. You won't even think to hit them. You'll just touch a spot in their body, or you'll move a certain way and you shift, and they just fall over. That's why it's so ridiculously absurd to think that Chinese martial arts at the top level wouldn't just completely annihilate anything. And like, this is why people overlook it, because they don't consider these things, because a lot of times they don't even need to try. And, you know, so that's the point, is like, that's why a lot of those guys, like Donnie Yen and stuff like that, like the really fast guys that did the Chinese martial arts and stuff like that, to the top level, and practice it all the time to the top level, you know, like they can do like the bottle cap challenge blindfolded and stuff like that, because that's the point. So for him to say, oh, it doesn't work, no, it's not true. What they're doing is fake. Yeah, you don't throw pockets of air across the room. However, I can do some of the stuff that he's talking. Like, all right, so some of those guys, it was not happening, and the way they did it, they were obviously phonies. But some of that stuff is based on the fact that, like, when somebody throws a strike and their body's already moving, you essentially just get so good at timing that all you're doing is, the very second that movement happens, whatever movement it may be, you are shifting your body with the movement. And then, like, maybe your shoulder's there, so instead of extending an arm, you pop your shoulder into their arm in such a way, it literally just throws their entire center of gravity off balance and they fall over. It's literally just a pressure point in their center of gravity. It's science. I mean, like, think about a car. If it's like moving at a certain speed and it hits one little thing, and it goes flying through the air and tumbles and rolls, and yeah, it's the same concept, guys. The same concept. It's a person moving with weight. And the point is, you are close to me. I just learn how to root. I get good at rooting, shifting, timing, so all of it. The people that don't understand it, sorry, they're just not very good at martial arts, because they don't know those things. So that's the point. Like, he just doesn't understand it, because he's not very good at martial arts. All this guy learned is, sit. Oh, okay, all right. You can get out of a hold or two. Okay. I just, that's all I gotta say about Joe Rogan. And like I said, you know, like, for him to actually sit there and go over the phonies, and then go, all Chinese martial arts masters are, yeah, it doesn't work, all of them are no, he was going over videos of phonies to intentionally get you to think that. Yeah, I want him to see that. I want to see him look at video footage of Donnie Yen and, like, some of those guys, like, behind the scenes doing the crazy stuff that they do, and then see him say it's phony. I want to see that he has the balls to actually call out one of these guys that we all know is really good and say it's phony. Go ahead. I freaking dare you. He does not have the ball. He knows flat out that not just them, it's the community. He's calling out the phonies because they like that. He knows he calls out immediately the Chinese, like the community, like the Chinese martial arts community, the way they are, the legit ones. He knows what's going to happen. He knows that there's like this thing that follows you around if you call them out. Okay? So he's not touching that. He's literally just sitting there going over phonies. That's all I gotta say. I mean, it's literally as simple as that. So anyway, if you happen across people like that, just remember that they're very they're very limited in what they know, because all they learned is punch kick drills. They learned a few holds and then they practiced that all the live long day and call it martial arts. And it's not. It's 2% of martial arts. So, like that's what we started talking about at the beginning. Originally it started somewhere and it trickles down, gets watered down. This person only learns so much. This country invades this country and tries to force them to teach them their martial arts. And maybe some good martial artists linger around and respected, the art and stuff like that. But most of them didn't. And you have to realize that some people also do exactly what Joe Rogan does, where, I mean, even way back then, history repeats itself, where they deny something it has value because they see how good it is. So they want the general public to believe it's not. Yeah. Because it completely devalues and discredits their entire thing. Kind of what we talk about with MDL, where he just sits there and craps on everything. Meanwhile, we're making good content. That's the point. It's just like this endless perpetuating thing where it's just because that's the point. It's the people that recognize that you're trying to devalue the fact that all they did is the bare minimum, and then they just went around and crapped on everything else. That's what Joe Rogan did. It's literally what he did. He did the bare minimum, and he goes around and does a little podcast and craps on martial arts, claiming he's a martial artist. I can punch people. I can punch people. I'm Joe Rogan. He's the reason Elon Musk lost his clearance for space. Yeah, because asshole Joe Rogan had him do a joint on their podcast. Like, come on. Because of him. Yeah, and Elon, wouldn't have even touched the stuff. And Joe Rogan did that. What kind of messed up? Yeah. Because of him. Yeah, don't trust this guy. I feel bad for him because it's like this guy develops whole rocket technology. Literally starts taking all these people to space. Travels us into the future with our tech. NASA was really falling behind, and then he just goes, "I got this. Hold my terrible warhead soda. I got this." It's pretty crazy, and he was the reason why he lost his clearance to space. This poor guy, he developed all this tech. He developed Tesla. He did all these things. Everybody just craps on him and has this terrible opinion of him. Yeah, I agree. He probably shouldn't have done what he did with Twitter or whatever, but a lot of people don't even really know much about him. They just crap on him. And then the whole reason he lost his clearance to space because Joe Rogan literally was like, "Here you go, try it." that just, man. Like, I get it. He could have just been like, no, I shouldn't. But, like, you know, doesn't Elon Musk have Asperger's or something? Like he's kind of socially awkward. He probably just felt pressure to do it, you know? I just feel bad that like, Joe Rogan's like this. And people just believe him, too. Like, I can't believe I saw that. I really can't believe I saw him going over, like, the obvious phonies. Yeah, like, the guy was, like... the one guy was, like, really fat, and he's just, like, wearing normal clothes. And, like, he couldn't do... Like, this guy didn't do martial arts. And he was just standing there. And then, like, he went like this, like, with his shoulder. Now, again, the shoulder thing, it is kind of legit, to be honest. I've done it before. And people were surprised. You know, like, it's actually... There's a monkey, specifically a monkey technique, actually developed out of that. That's where a lot of monkey and dragon comes from. There's one where, like, you literally will fling across the eyes to cover the eyes to fake him out. I usually spin around and do a kick first. But it's literally like you come down and use your shoulder, and literally your shoulder checks their body. Meanwhile, you're now they're like off balance, and then you flip around and heel kick them. You literally just flip over and heel kick them, and that's a monkey technique. And yeah, manipulations don't work. Nope. Yeah, it's all phony. Yeah. I have literal fucking animal techniques where this shit's built into it, and this guy's sitting here saying that all of it's phony. Blah 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 blah. The guy doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about. He has no idea what he's talking about. There's no idea what he's talking about. And so anyway. Just don't believe that nonsense. And martial arts is cool if you actually get to learn about the real stuff. But yeah, like, that's the point. He was looking at clips of, like, the fat guy, and that's right, like, the fat guy was just standing there, and, like, it was obviously, like, just didn't know what he was doing, because he actually used force. I literally saw him use force, and it's like not how it works. It's not how it works. Not how it works. That's why Joe Rogan doesn't know it. Like, it's a very top level skill. You don't just know it. And then the people that master it, the people that actually learn it and actually are able to do it, it takes years. Like, you really have to be it has to be, like, really ingrained, and you have to be sparring all the time, grappling. Like, you got to really practice this. You got to have the muscle memory to be able to do it. You can't just do it. And it was very obvious this guy couldn't do it. And then, like, yeah, he did this little manipulation thing and then hit the guy. And the guy's, like, convulsing and stuff. I'm just like, what is this? Like, what is this? What is the, what dark corner? Like, where did Joe Rogan find this ridiculous crap and try to say all martial artists and all Chinese martial arts masters or it doesn't work and stuff? Like, he literally was claiming that, and he was picking, like, the worst of the worst phonies to claim this. And that's Joe Rogan. Yeah. It's like literally the politics of martial arts. There is. Yeah, and that's that I've seen it a million times. That's what these guys do. It's so pathetic. And oftentimes it is because they don't understand it. Yeah, they don't get those concepts. They are not smart enough. That's it. It is a lot of understanding martial arts through this. A lot of people get into it because they're meatheads. You know, they want to hit something. And it's like, well, you missed the point then. I originally, like, learned it a long time ago when I was younger because I got picked on and stuff. I just wanted to defend myself. And karate wasn't doing it. Yeah, that's the point. I know I started the video with this, but I'll say it again. That's the point. Is when I was learning karate, Tang Soo Do, it was just not. It was crap. It would often teach me to hurt myself, do things wrong, and I could even recognize this as a kid. I was learning it, and it was just stupid. Like, people could still beat me up, people could still, like, bully me and stuff. Started learning Kung Fu, I had a lot more confidence. Now, it didn't come right away. It was a process. You can't expect to be good overnight, or even, honestly, even defending yourself. And learning to defend yourself does take a while. You still have to learn that the difference between a real situation and the class format and what you see is totally, like, it's totally different. You really need to be able to immediately be on your toes, explode with energy, explode, and that's just what people don't get. And when you do that, if your muscle memory and technique's not there, that's it. So that's the point, is like, even with the self-defense, it takes a bit. So karate wasn't doing it. And like I said, the funny thing is, I ended up running into somebody in my kung fu classes and going through the ranks with her that she was like one sash. She was always one sash ahead. And I ended up going through the ranks with her, one or two. Sometimes, like, it would overlap, and then I'd test, and she'd still be one ahead then. But I went up through the ranks, and it's funny because she was, I mentioned her because she was actually at the same karate school I was at, and then going there because of the same exact thing. She just saw an instructor that was fat and lazy. He made people do 100 push-ups because he didn't know how to teach a class. Yeah, the guy couldn't even do a kick. He was just fat. And yeah, that's it. And she was going there the same reason, and she was telling me about how, yeah, like, he's terrible, and she apparently went back to spar him and easily took care of that. Put him in his place, and I guess I don't know if he got demoted by that association or whatever, but I guess it kind of embarrassed him a little bit. But either way, in my opinion, like, when you do that job, you need to hold your own. Somebody could come in the door and do that. I had people do that, and trust me, they didn't come back. That's the point. You will have people challenge you. I don't embarrass them. I just don't want to see them again. You embarrassed yourself trying to make a challenge of this. Don't come back. And that's how you handle that. Usually it starts off friendly. Oh, I want to train, but it's obvious what they want. They want to. They were like in Green Beret or something like that, or UFC, and they want to test their ability on a top level kung fu instructor. And they unfortunately learn the hard way. They don't stand even a candle. They do not even hold a candle to it. I remember one guy that came in, one of my students probably remembers this, who likes to watch once in a while. He came in, and like, this dude just literally just immediately he starts telling, he's like the biggest dude you'll ever see. He's like, brute force always wins and stuff like that. Oh, I couldn't wait to prove that wrong. Yeah, that was pretty rewarding, proving him wrong on that. The crazy thing is, most people get really defensive and stuff like that. With him, he was really humble about it. He was like, no, you warned me. He said, no, you told me not to, and I did. You warned me. And I really appreciate the people that do that. Like the point is knowledge. The point is to teach you guys to spread the wealth, to not keep it to myself. Like, the point is to show you guys that it's out there. That's the point. It really people are like, yeah, be protective of the art. I get that. But at this point, everything's on the internet, and there's so much on the internet that's wrong. And there's so much on the internet discrediting this art and how good it is. And I'd like to change that a little bit. Maybe even just a little. You know, just even if I can help a little bit. I'd love to change that. I'd love to actually, you know, be helpful and helping people understand that they can learn this stuff. It's not something that comes easy. It's really hard. It's really hard. But damn it, is it rewarding once you finally get it. When I was younger, I was always a natural kicker. I was not a natural martial artist. I was a natural at understanding concepts that related to kicking. My engine is going to shut off if we don't drive soon. So, what you have to understand about me is I actually went and had quite a bit of a ringer to learn this stuff. And I had a really good instructor that had a lot of just incredible amounts of patience and understanding. And he really went the 9 yards to make sure that I was always partnered up and sparring with the most skilled, the biggest guy, the strongest guy. Seriously, he really did not want me wasting my time on anybody that was not less skilled than me. And that often was hard to do because I was just getting better because of that. You know, it's sort of like what I know I talk about Zakk Wylde a lot, you know, being an amazing guitarist and everything, but I you know, have good reason, because he is. You know, it's something, it reminds me of something he always said. You know, you don't get better by playing the same thing. You get better by trying something hard. You know, if Zakk Wylde sat there and played Black Sabbath all the live long day, you really think he'd be as good as he is? Fuck no. Black Sabbath is so easy. Yeah, play Led Zeppelin, play Iron Maiden, play, you know, like, talk to me then. Yeah, that's the point. Like, you know, like, all right, most Sabbath is easy, I should say. But, like, that's the point. You can't, you have to play something harder. You have to try something harder. You can't just stay the same. You have to, you should be pairing yourself up with somebody who is more skilled than you. So many fighters want to fight somebody just to be better. So they'll intentionally scope people out and partner up and sparring partner with people that they know that they can get a hit in on. What are you learning? What? Get hit. What? Get everybody does this. Like, everyone. No, get hit. Spar that guy that's better than you. Learn something. That's what he taught me. Was like, for so long I was like that. I wanted to spar the easy people. I wanted to put my back to the wall. You know, we'd run drills. You know, like that's the point. Is like, and then eventually I started getting like that, where I'm like, you know, don't put your back to the wall. You know, and I started running drills like that too. You know, it's like, you're running a drill where you're doing a multi-attack. You know, we'd run drills where everybody's like, it's a free-for-all, you know, and, you know, you're running around the room, someone taps you, you're out, you know, and that's the whole thing. And then, you know, it's always fun to do those drills. And then, you know, the idea is that you don't put your back to the wall, because if you put your back to the wall, well, you're not using your skills. Well, you do that in a video game because that's what's smart in a video game. In real life, you want to learn how to get better. You want to learn how to guard your back. So don't put your back to the wall. You know? That's the point. That's the point here. I'm actually going to pull up in the driveway. So it's like if you're gonna put your back to the wall, you're not guarding a good bit of that, you know. How am I doing? I'm doing all right. What do you guys want to do? I gotta go to the bathroom really quick. All right, what's up? What's up? I'm actually I'm kind of like a little hungry a little bit. But yeah, we got a good martial arts conversation going. Like I said, guys, you know, we actually get the channel going. We get sponsorship. We get members. We get all this YouTube weird stuff going. You know, working for us instead of against us. We're gonna start doing more martial arts content, but we got to see those numbers. And now that it's warmer, we'll be doing more shorts again. We did a few martial arts shorts, if you guys remember. We'll be doing more of those. The idea is to inspire you guys to practice correctly. You know, maybe you have a martial arts instructor of your own, or you're going to a school of your own. And it's sort of hard to tell how good they are, how good the school is, the integrity, this or that. You know, you can always, that's a good thing. You know, that's a good, well, not that part. It's a good thing that like we're doing this, because then the idea is that you guys can always kind of like use that as like points of reference. This is how things should be done. And, you know, if you have a question about it, you can be like, well, would it be okay to do this? And if not, you know, can you explain why that wouldn't be okay? What would happen if I did it this way? And you know, like, would you do it that way? You know, that sort of thing. And we can get that conversation. You know, just like I'll give you guys an example. A great question I get asked all the time from you know, martial artists that have previous experience that would come into the school. They'd be talking to me about kicking. What part of your foot are you actually pivoting on? Because a lot of that's what they would ask me, because a lot of them would be taught to actually to pivot on the heel. And fortunately, this is not correct. You know, if you're pivoting on your heel, you are off balance. Ultimately, when you pivot, when you start kind of mastering the ability to spin and pivot and stuff like that, it'll kind of not really feel like you're on anything, if that makes sense. It'll kind of feel like you're gliding. Um, what I'll say is just the ball of your foot is what you start with. Not your toes. So like don't go up onto your toes, but just like a little pop. Just like pop a little bit, snap, pop. Just the ball of the foot. Just a little pop onto the ball of the foot. Just spin. Not the heel, not the toes. Ball of the foot. That's that part right under where the toes come back and bend into the foot. That little part right under there where the toes meet the foot. That little middle part right there. You're kind of getting it right there. So it seems like you might be doing it on your toes, but you're not. You're sort of kind of popping just that second amount of time you need to do that spin. And that's the point. If you're on something, you're on your toes, you're on your heel, you're off balance, because that's the point. You aren't actually on anything. This is the thing people miss. And they do the pivot wrong. They just learn the whole thing wrong. A lot of people don't have a very good instructor that know how to spin. I'll be honest with you. A lot of people miss a really big concept with spinning, and we can go over those concepts. And I don't mind that people miss things too. I'd love to help. What I would like though is, again, just respect the art. Don't come in and say something's wouldn't work or this or that. I promise you, if I'm giving it to you, I've used it. It has worked for me in practical application. I can do this. I can explain how it would be worked into practical application versus various attackers from various different sizes, from various different attacks, in almost any scenario you can think of. And I'll flat out tell you if it's a technique that you shouldn't use in a particular scenario or not. Well, if you threw a scenario at me, be like, well, I wouldn't use it then. Yeah, I wouldn't use it then. I would use something else. I'll say that. Yeah. And so that's the point, is I'll be perfectly honest with you guys. I won't give you guys anything, that I personally have never seen work or anything like that. It's all just stuff I've been doing for a very long time. So, with the spins, again, it's something that a lot of people don't do that I've been doing for a very long time. I've been doing for years. We did them. It's pretty regular in my system when we did them. I taught a lot of people how to spin. Yeah, that's the sort of thing where it's like a pinch harmonic on guitar. As soon as you get it, you're like, oh, that's got it. Okay. Now I see what I was doing. It's like, it's that sort of thing. It's like, as soon as you get it, it's like, man, okay. Now I know how to use this thing. Okay. But it's like that one curse sometimes that just, you don't quite get it. I feel like that's spinning with some people. We can break it down too. But realize that, again, we're talking concepts on here. I won't be giving you guys like entire forms or anything like that. I have to respect the art too. And so like if like, let's say there's an opportunity where somebody would want to learn the art from me, that's fine. That's a little bit of a different situation, but like just over the internet, not going to put my forms like in content on the internet, not going to do that. There were some times where I was considering making a forum and like putting things together from the art, which, believe it or not, which is just where all the forums originally came from. They didn't come from magic, from thin air. They came from people that were masters that understood how the style worked, and then how it relates to doing it in consecutive order. And the idea is to essentially create a situation. If you want to, anybody can make a form. You want to make a form? Here's how you make a form. Put yourself in the worst possible scenario for each attacker, and now think of the 100, almost close to 100% success rate for every outcome that a technique that could actually handle that situation, that scenario. So the worst scenario, the worst attack, based on the way you're standing, pick a stance. Worst scenario, worst attack, based on how you're standing. Give a technique that would work basically 100% every time based on that scenario, and then put you in a good position for a follow-up. That's the idea, to teach consecutive techniques. So you want to use whatever technique you're teaching and stuff like that, put that in there and stuff like that. But then also be able to have that in consecutive order. The idea of the purpose of a form is for people to consecutively do those movements to understand how in a fight with multiple attackers, muscle memory can kick in and you can do that without stopping. Do you ever wonder why point sparring and UFC people and MMA people, they get into situations where they get late in the fight, they don't know what to do, they don't have a trick up their sleeve, it's just still the same punch and kick you've always seen? That's why. Yeah, they didn't, there was no long thought out process or strategy. It's literally just, I'll wear the guy down and hopefully, no, that's not how fighting works. It's not how martial arts is supposed to work. It's all strategy. And, if you have enough styles, you size up your opponent and you pick the style that is going to work really well against that opponent. Tiger is a big one. That's why I like Tiger. It's very aggressive, very overwhelming, works most of the time on most people. And the reason for that is the aggression. Literally a good defense is a good offense, right? So anyway, I remember learning, going up through the ranks. One of the cool things was I get to learn the animal styles finally. I couldn't wait. That was something I really wanted to do. Do you guys want to go in, make like a pretzel or something? Let's go in and make a pretzel. I'm hungry. We're going to make a pretzel and then we'll talk a little bit. I don't know. I'm just I don't know. I'm kind of hungry. I know. If we did this vertical, we'd have 80 million people stopping in here. I get it. But we didn't. Y'all can just deal. Y'all can just deal. I need to make a pretzel. Where am I gonna put you guys down at? I'm trying to find a spot here. What's up, can you guys see? So anyway, I only have one left. We can talk about. I really wanted to make sure that Rogan thing, because that's really unfortunate that he thinks like that. And I hope that y'all realize that's not the case. Yeah, I mean, I've seen UFC fighters, boxers, and stuff come and learn our system, and they're decent fighters. My instructor, if this puts it into perspective, my instructor was once, I think he was 2-time. Maybe he was only once, but it was a knockout too. It was like no contest sort of knockout. He was once the I think it was actually lightweight. I think he lost some weight to win it, but it was full contact, and it was the world champion, the world championship, and he won it. He won it by knockout, and you know the funny thing is he actually was really unhappy with how that went down. And apparently he didn't like the guy he was fighting. He didn't want to fight him because he apparently it was like really easy, and he thought that the match that went on before that was staged and kind of messed up. And he proved it by literally just knocking the guy out with a roundhouse kick. God, I saw it too. Yeah, I saw the video, and then never saw it again. Yeah, they buried that thing. But I saw it. And yeah, it was plain as day. And yeah, the guy ran over quick and raised his arm. He was like couldn't believe it. So that's the whole point is like, and then you know the guy that I used to spar with, my sparring partner, he won a few I think grappling championships, like world grappling championships, and he boxed in college and stuff. So like my point, guys, is that you know for some of you they're like, oh, the boxers and Chinese martial artists, they're not the same. Actually, they are. It's just that when boxers and stuff learn the Chinese martial artists, and they finally learn those martial like jackasses on the internet, pretending to be podcasters that know everything about martial arts. Joe Rogan's a mess. Oh man, there's hot dogs and oh my god, forget about the hot dogs. I forgot that I had hot dogs. I forgot. Alright, we needed mustard for our pretzel here. You guys know that, I'll just kneel down. You guys know that when Donnie Yen was filming that scene in Ip Man with Mike Tyson, the guy that everybody's like, oh, he's the best, and well, everybody knows he is, like, really good and everything. He, like, apparently accidentally fractured one of his fingers. They're just like doing one of those blocks where you target with your knuckle. It's one of those ones where you sort of kind of go like this. I think that's the one he was using because that's what it's for. And he did it by accident. That's the point. I've accidentally done stuff like that too, or like we're sparring, and even with fingerless gloves, I did something to somebody's finger because I was practicing that particular thing. Yeah, and it worked. Through gloves, through their gloves. Yeah. Which is why boxers have to wear gigantic gloves. People, like, we've gotten so far from before the protectors were there, people are so oblivious to why they existed in the first place and don't remember the things that used to happen. And don't realize that gloves and fingers are appropriate weapons. So, I want to do, like I said, I want to do some more martial arts shorts, but
it has been cold, so that's why we haven't been doing those as much, but we'll be doing them. Um, we'll do some more full length streams too, where we talk about martial arts and do some in a stream format like this. We'll definitely do that. Um, we have to work out what you guys exactly want. I know there were some people a while ago asking me for videos on my snake philosophy and stuff like that. And then I went and did some stuff, and that person didn't say anything. So, I don't know if they didn't realize it or what, but I am willing to do the stuff. If you guys ask for something, I'll do my best to put in a video for you, and realize there's certain stuff that YouTube will not allow me. If that makes sense. Like with martial arts, you have to realize there's a certain side of it that's too, I guess, violent, right? That's the word. And that's why when I talk about certain things, I kind of try to phrase it a certain way, because YouTube really does have certain things with that. So yeah, that's why, like, we can't get unfortunate. Like, I really would. I'd love to get into some of the combative stuff. How it would work, like for soldiers and stuff, like things I'd recommend, even. But I can't. I physically cannot. YouTube will not. They'll censor it. They'll be like, there's certain stuff you just can't do. It's sort of like it makes sense. I actually can't even tell you. I can sort of tell you why, but I have to say it a certain way. Soldiers should be trained by the army. That's how I'll phrase that. Okay? That's all we're gonna say. that's where it stops. I'm sure that they appreciate that too. Yeah, like, you just have to realize there's certain things that they don't. You have to research, and that's why I was carefully reading over policies and stuff. And I just want to make sure I'm doing the right stuff here, and we don't have any issues. I don't intend to cause any issues on my end. It's really just to draw attention to other issues that I see. Oh, also, that reminds me. Let's talk about something. You guys want to go back outside? It's not that cool. It's kind of chill out here, actually. It's just really wet and rainy. Flip it around. But so apparently I was right about a lot of different things with YouTube, and we're not going to get too into it, but
apparently somebody, a very, very large YouTube content creator, was in fact going around reporting people when they shouldn't have been, trying to get people copyright strikes when they didn't deserve it, and all kinds of stuff. And go check it out. Moist was talking about it on his main channel. You guys can go check it out. Um, that's his Penguins channel. But guys, honestly, you have to realize when you have way too many people trying to create content that shouldn't be, that essentially they can't handle the fact that there's a new generation that wants to make content too. I don't know what it is, but apparently this guy was doing that. And I always knew that somebody was doing it, but I didn't know who. And I always knew that, you know, essentially it would come out that somebody was doing it. But also, I think there's more doing it. And I think there's more doing it than we know. So, like, my point is just that be careful. Like, let's still be, like, extra careful with stuff. Make sure you're doing the right things. Don't give them a reason. But also, just be aware that a lot of times it might be invalid because it might be someone messing around. And that's what I always kind of talk about. You know, somebody messing around or something like that. And unfortunately, just because people become aware of what this guy did, they will now do that thing because they know they can, because they know it was a thing. That's bad, but that's how people are. Some people. So I just want to throw that out there too, that be aware it's going to continue happening now just because somebody did it. So anyway, let's talk about well, if you guys want to talk more martial arts, we can. I wish I could do something, but like it's cold, it's rainy, it's wet. Can't do anything outside at the moment. If we're just like sitting here, I can do something, but there's only so much I can do just sort of sitting here. But we can talk. And I can also talk to you guys about concepts, and I can talk to you guys about what I love about martial arts, like things I like about it, things I like about, especially about Kung Fu, but about how Kung Fu is everything too, and there are right and wrong ways to do things, and like for example, the whole Joe Rogan thing, I'll bet he does about half of his repertoire kind of wrong too. Just because like that's how kind of ignorant that type of mindset is. So because he's resistant to knowledge of martial arts that's better than what he knows, how much other stuff is he resistant to not knowing now? Does he always think he's right with martial arts? Does he just turn down things that other people would give him pointers, thinking he's right? Probably. So he's always going to stay the same. He will never get better. Yeah, he's a bad martial artist. Anybody that does that, they're a bad martial artist. And they will always stay the same. Like I said, they won't get better until they humble. You know, some of the best martial artists This is why I always say, oh, like people are like, who's the best? Who's the best? And, people say Bruce Lee and this and that and the other thing. We can talk about that. And I personally think Bruce Lee didn't have enough time to be the best. I think he was going to be the best and absolutely on track to be the best. But he died so young. The best martial artists are the guys you've never heard from. You will never hear from. They silently are monks or, just people that don't want to be known. They're private people. They're humble. They don't want to use the art for that. And that's the point. They get it. The people that get it, they're the best. That's why, because they get it. In my opinion, Bruce Lee was still like going to be the best pretty much. But a lot of people don't recognize the fact that a lot of the stuff that he did was pretty commonplace in top level kung fu martial arts, like Chinese martial arts, and he was just sort of kind of bringing it into the movies and people weren't really just aware of it. That's all. People just sort of kind of became more aware of that type of thing because he started talking about it, like the 1-inch punch and stuff like that. It's pretty commonplace in top level Chinese martial arts to do practice like that. That's literally how a lot of it works. The manipulations we talked about that Joe Rogan was sort of kind of trying to make fun of and say wasn't real, it's actually kind of how some of it starts. So if we're doing a 1-inch punch, the idea is to essentially set your hand on something and be able to collapse it and do that. Okay. Here's how I essentially do that. I teach it like a lot of our blocking is done by manipulation, where essentially you just twist the wrist. So you start on the back of your hand and you roll the hand and push. Okay. We went over this in the very first self-defense video we did on the channel. So essentially you convert this same concept. It's the same way. It's funny, like we have all these boxers come in and stand like this, and then like they go like this, and then they go to fight me, and then I just immediately do the Chinese thing like that. Then I come up through the middle. It's just it's literally as simple as that, and then they fall for it every time. Well, because the point is, I'm using the concept of using your own tension against you. I am now just using weight, relaxed tension, using your own resistance to hit you in the face with your own hands. That's how laughable that sort of thing is to a Chinese martial artist. And that's a very basic thing that you'll see like Jackie Chan and them do too, where they're blocking hands. You see Donnie Yen do it too in Ip Man, where he's sort of kind of going like this, and reaching. Essentially, they're just blocking with blades or coming across like this. A lot of times what you're doing is you're hitting with a blade like that, and you're coming across and then turning it to a fist. Okay. So it's the same concept where you're just continuing the momentum. Okay. So this is how the 1-inch punch works. It's the same concept. So you're doing this, you're just converting that to, okay, that's it. It's literally that simple. You guys remember how I told you we break kung fu practitioners break cinder blocks, not wood? Yeah. It's because we don't actually hit them. That's how you learn it. Yep. Relax tension. We don't hit them. I'm not going to tell you how to do it. You got to learn the martial arts. I'm not going to tell you how to do that drill. But we don't hit them. And I remember when I first broke one, it was like, oh, yeah. It was like, oh, yeah. I was so happy. Yeah, my hand just went through it. Cinder block broke, cut my hand all up. It's like, yes. Yeah, my instructor was like, yeah, if you do it right, that's how you know you did it right. He's like, that's how you know you did it right. It happened when you weren't paying attention, or what, didn't it? Like the moment you lost focus, right? Like I was like, yeah, it did. He's like, you got it. That's the point. It's muscle memory. I practiced that enough times, I broke it without hitting it. And then people are actually making fun of these concepts and think they're not real. That's the point. Imagine what that could do. You take that concept and just going with it. That's what Bruce Lee did. Yeah. He didn't do this 200 times or even 500 times. He did this probably about 10,000 times a day. Yep, just that. Then he probably did this about another 10,000 times a day. Most people, they go, okay, got it. On to the next thing. Let's go. No. Still go back and practice. Do it like 10 million times. That's what people don't get. Basics, 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 basics. You are not a master. Period. Nobody is. Don't ever think about it like that. The moment you start doing that, you're better at martial arts and you're closer to getting it. Nobody is a master. Absolutely nobody. There is no mastering anything. You can always get better. Does that make sense? The closer you are to understanding that concept, you're gonna be a better martial artist, and you're gonna start understanding martial arts better. You're gonna be open to new things. Oh, I'm a master at this. I've mastered it. People just say these things. It's a term. It's not. We call people masters out of respect. Yeah. To most people, they will look like a master. They are very skilled. And it has appeared to have mastered their art because compared to everyone else, they have. But they themselves are humbled and understand they haven't because they can always practice and do better and do better and do better and do better and do better. You know, when everyone did the bottle cap challenge, did Donnie Yen sit around doing nothing? No. Nope. He showed up, put that blindfold on, and spun around and kicked the bottle cap off. Blindfolded. Yep. Take that, Jason Statham. I don't have anything against Jason Statham. It's just funny, like people bragging about certain people. It's like, brag about Donnie Yen. When does he get his due? Like, I love the guy. I'm sure he's fine now, and he gets plenty of parts and stuff now. But it took a long time for people to recognize him, as it does often with those guys. That's unfortunate. He's been a martial artist for a long time. It's a really old movie called Dragon Tiger Gate. You guys should check that out. It's ridiculous, but it's a young Donnie Yen. It's ridiculous. The movie's ridiculous, but it has him in it, like when he was younger. One of my favorite martial arts movies is Ip Man. I love that. The first one though. The other one was the other stuff with like the wire work and all that. I'm just like, eh. Some of that stuff, like, all right. So, like, for example, the idea is that a lot of that stuff the masters could do, like, was standing on certain things because that's how they'd practice. What you guys don't realize is that their level of training was so absurd compared to anything you'd be willing to do today. Like, they're willing to put themselves in harm's way all the time just for better training. You have to realize that. So, like, you're talking about guys that would stand on 1 foot with an arm out on a post that's like 12 feet off the ground. So if they fall, they'd be seriously injured. So therefore, they don't fall. That's why they did that. They would do things like that. The Shaolin would do things like that. The Chinese martial artists were that nuts with their training. That's the point. It was always better than everyone else's. Yeah, meanwhile, everyone's being all protective. They're fighting with real swords and standing 12 feet off the ground on 1 leg on a post that's barely wide enough to fit their foot, you know? And it wobbles because their weight is moving around. And it's not like they could drive posts in the ground very well back then, right? So anyway, the point is that some of those guys were skilled enough to essentially do that and stand on like, like things like that. But the concept was that you keep moving. So as it shifts and falls, you can move with it. That was the concept. So they had to do some wire work and stuff in the movie to kind of show that. It kind of looked a little cheesy, but that was what they were driving that concept from. It ends up coming a little cheesy when they use wire work because it just ends up looking kind of like the Matrix at times. They're really irresponsible with it in Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon. It wasn't like that. They didn't fly. The idea, the concept behind that was that these Shaolin monks were so freaking good with their... You're talking about people that walked on rice paper so that they could learn lightness of foot. They walked on rice paper. You know what rice paper is? Yeah, it just breaks. That's the point. You can walk on rice paper. Yeah, you're pretty light on your feet. So they practiced that type of stuff. So they were so light on their feet. The concept was that they could just leap like twice their own height sort of thing, and just jump off wall to wall. We've seen Jackie Chan literally do this in some cop movies. Okay? Now take Jackie Chan and multiply him by about 3. Okay? Because let's be honest, he's a movie star. He does other things with his life. Take him and multiply him by about 3, because this is all these people do. Okay? That's how skilled you're talking about. This is what I'm talking about. Jackie Chan was just a natural. Okay? Imagine if that's all he did, So this is what we're talking about, okay? Them just sort of kind of going the extreme with it, and people kind of missing the point. A very real, accurate, excellent depiction of how gruesome combative kung fu martial arts can really be. Watch Ong Bak 2, the second Ong Bak movie, where he's doing all that monkey and all the drunken and stuff. There you go. It is really realistic too, because like the end, it doesn't go down how you think. Yeah, I love that movie. The bad guy, he finally gets to the bad guy. The bad guy just has a giant basket on his head. I was dying. He just has this giant black basket on his head. I was, yes, bad guy. But the martial arts was so good. And it wasn't a happy ending. Yeah. Well, at least not for, like, it was to a point. He did his job. He did what the Ong Bak do. That was the dynasty, obviously. That's the point. This is like the dynasty of a hero, that the sort of kind of liberation and all that. He was, though. And it was a sad story, but really, really well done and accurate for martial arts. And Tony Jaa really, really, really showed that he knows what he's doing. Like, man, that guy is good. Yeah, don't don't fight Tony Jaa. Yeah, just don't even. I would love to see him spar Donnie Yen though. Donnie Yen's one of those ones that's so relaxed with it. I just want to see him spar for real. I'd love to see it, but obviously you're never going to. That's the point. You'll never see that, but it'd be so cool. The reason you never see it is because it doesn't go like it does in the movies. It won't look like that, and that's why like Joe Rogan and a lot of these guys think that too. Because like when you go to a top level, even kung fu school, it doesn't look like that. It won't. You'll see a burst of techniques here and there. It looks like normal sparring. Yeah, it doesn't look like it does in the movies. You can make it look like that. Yeah, in a practiced, choreographed setting. No, people lose their balance, they fall, they do stupid stuff, they get hit. No, it's not. Yeah, it's not like that at all. It's not like it is in the movies. If I will say one thing, when I had somebody around like my instructor and like people that were closer to my skill level, like all the time, and then we'd spar. Sometimes, yeah, actually, kind of would look a little bit like that once in a while. But like at the top level of martial arts where everything you're doing is calculated and well done and stuff like that, oftentimes when you're met with somebody in a sparring situation, it ends pretty quick. It really doesn't, because like that's the point. One person is better than the other, and it's just obvious pretty quick, because they know what they're doing. So they just see through what the other person's doing and stop it, and they're just more skilled. It's as simple as that. Um, Once in a while, you have a fighter that like is very similar to the like the skill of another one or something like that, and you sort of kind of see a back and forth and stuff. But again, it looks more like a regular kind of brawl that you'd normally see. Yeah, yeah, a lot more calculated hits, blocks, footwork. Um, but it is very much that's why I think they sort of kind of did what they did with Dragon Ball with like, like Dragon Ball Z. Like they took the real concepts and just made them very extra. So a lot of times when you do a technique in Kung Fu, it'll be so fast. The person that you did it to didn't see it. The person watching didn't see it. All they saw is what happened after. It really is that fast a lot of times. Otherwise, it's not going to work. That's the point. The other fighter can see. So it needs to be faster than the eye can see. So it really is about expert timing. It was with expert timing. Yeah, it really is. Uh, Fast as lightning, expert timing really is that stuff. Really, really is. And you won't see it. It, like I said, it's an explosion. It's an explosion. You do the technique, it's done. It either worked or it didn't. If it didn't work, you probably got hit. And in a real fight, it's probably a knockout. That's the point. Yeah, that's the real reality of it. And then like that's the point is like people don't want to acknowledge the fact that in UFC and on boxing and stuff they're wearing gloves. You start talking about the real situation, they're not wearing gloves. Different. Very, very different. What time is it? Okay. Text. I'm hungry. We got to get to a stream today. See, I just wanted to have a conversation with you guys. Sometimes I just like to have a conversation. I like to talk about things that I see that I think are nonsense. And that's what we've been talking about for a good bit today. We started with Joe Rogan and really didn't stop. Like I said, I didn't know what really to think of him. I had just seen some interviews here and there. I liked some of the interviews I watched. I think the interviews are entertaining. And like I said, I liked the interview with him and Elon Musk. I just obviously didn't know much about him. And after seeing the video where he very clearly uses obvious phonies and then says, this is the problem with the Chinese martial artists. They think it works, but it's all fake, all phony. The fact that he actually used real, phony, obvious idiots just being phony and doing dumb shit to say that it's all phony is so irresponsible. You should never listen to a single word that guy says after doing that. I'm just flat out telling you. Owned a martial arts school. I did it for a long time. I started when I was young. I've been doing martial arts for a very long time. I mean, it's probably going on close to 30 years now that I've been doing martial arts since I was very young. And like I said, I taught it since I was a teenager. Owned a school. Again, I've taught tons and was taught by some of the best. And like I said, even my instructor and people that I sparred with, were some heavyweight, lightweight contact champions of the world, actually. They really did the world full contact championships. They were proud of that. I mean, their instructor, I should say, was proud of that. They really kind of didn't want to do it, in my opinion. I think they kind of made that obvious. But he wanted them to for, promotability and stuff. And let's be honest, it worked. Because that's what people want to see. They want to see the result. But, that's the point, is again, some of the best fighters ever are the most humble. They don't sit there. They don't have any reason to sit there and be like, oh, see, that's phony, this and that and the other thing. They don't do that. They don't go all the way to do that. They're going to be doing martial art, or busy teaching or doing martial arts. Yeah. So I just came across, when I came across that, I just had to tell you guys. Because, I couldn't believe that. And, it's like, I thought it was really cool. I think it was Jimmy Fallon sat there and showed a bunch of clips to Jackie Chan the one time he had him on to see what he thought of them. He'd break down certain little fight scenes and clips and stuff like that and got his opinion on them. And I thought it was really funny because Jackie Chan was just he was just ready to do it. He was just he's always so great, full of energy, so positive, and I love Jackie. He's so awesome, but such a nice man too, but he was sitting there and he was showing them these scenes, and I remember the one guy goes to do a clip. It was like clips of like content creators and like other people trying to do this or that in martial arts and either being good at it or sucking at it. And I think a couple were some fights, but like it was really just people doing martial arts and sucking at it. And Jackie was like trying to give pointers and stuff. And remember the one dude tried to do a kick. And I'm looking at his shoes. And I'm looking at his stance. And I'm like, what does he think he's about to do? like I'm just like, what is, like, the moment it happens, I just see his stance and his shoes. I'm just like, what does he think he's gonna do? Exactly the thing happened that you thought was gonna happen. He just falls right on his behind, and Jackie's laughing. And he goes, "It's his shoes." You know, it's literally it's his shoes. He can't get his foot up there. It's like people do some of the dumbest stuff to practice martial arts. And then, like, my point behind that is perfect practice. So, like, the idea is that if you're practicing a kick or something like that, why would you want to make it difficult when you haven't perfected it yet? Perfect the kick, then make it difficult. That's how you get to mastering, technically. Perfect it first. Don't make it difficult first. So the point is, this guy obviously couldn't do the kick, and he's wearing like boots or something like that. And he goes to do this, he just falls because he can't even get his foot up there. But he's wearing jeans too, I guess. And it's like, okay, you're gonna do a spin kick, boots, jeans. Yeah, okay. Yeah, you're Chuck Norris. Yeah, you're Chuck Norris. You got tailor-made jeans that go all the way up to your crotch, and that's why he could do that stuff on Walker and all that, because they just get like he has tailored jeans and stuff like that. I promise you guys, you do martial arts, you start realizing like there's certain stuff you can't do, and like you like that's actually a lot of times why I wear these. Like I wear them for weights. It's like sort of like an extra training. It's like weights on your feet, so that way when I do a kick without them, it's like super light. Some martial artists actually do that. They'll wear weights all day long if they take their training seriously and stuff, like do regular things. Sort of like the I know it's crazy to relate it to anime, but it is sort of kind of like, you know, the concept Goku, right, with maintaining Super Saiyan, like doing normal things. Yeah, that's the point. It makes sense. It makes sense. Yeah, like if you'd have an ability like that, that would make sense. If you want to control it, you'd want to do normal stuff and practice doing normal stuff. Otherwise, you don't control it, it controls you. Period. That's true. That would be how that would work. And it's it really does apply to martial arts. Really, really does. It is exactly the same concept. You don't perfect a kick, you put all the weights on and you think you're going to do this kick, you'll just destroy your legs and mess yourself up. And it's like the people that go and do powerlifting and think that's how you gain muscle and mass and stuff like that. Yeah, all right. I guess it's faster maybe, but it's also going to destroy your body. Yeah, less weight, less with more reps. Yeah, I mean, you not gaining the mass, there's another issue that you need to address. I promise. It has nothing to do with that. Nothing. And if somebody tells you otherwise, they're giving you really bad advice. It's always like things that are in your body: vitamins, testosterone, lack of testosterone, protein, iron, whatever. You know, for everybody it's different. Truly, some people can't gain mass because they're low in testosterone. They take a booster, boom. Who was it? who's the I feel bad because I forget his name. He is a phenomenal actor. I love the guy. He is incredibly inspirational. What's his name? Jack Reacher guy. He's like incredibly tall. Um, he advocates for testosterone boosters and stuff. He had the exact same issue where he started realizing that something was wrong. And he took the booster and it was like boom. He felt on top of the world. He could lift more and gain the mass. And he talks about it. And that's the point, is like he's sort of the epitome of like, you know, like really healthy, you know, obviously in shape. Dude's huge. Definitely take it. If you don't take it from me, take it from him, you know, and that's the point. I've taught many powerlifters, actually many. One stuck with it for a long time. He was one of my oldest students, and he told me plenty of times. He said, you know, like definitely a big regret is doing that, you know, and not doing it the way I should have, you know. He Yeah, and he was always really, you know, he always looked bigger than everyone else, but so what? And that was the whole point, was when he started doing martial arts, he started realizing like he couldn't even I remember one of the guys was so rigid he couldn't even lift his foot like a few inches off the ground. But that was also the guy that would ring your bell so fast and so hard you'd never see it come, and you'd be on the floor and wonder what happened. So that's the point. Like, real good with his hands, but yeah, couldn't lift his foot up a few inches off the ground, you know? And so, like, that's the point. Well, you know, most people can't handle a big guy with that's good with their hands. He could recognize that he still needed more about his martial arts and wanted to learn more and stuff like that. There's more to learn. So even though he was as good as he was, he still recognized there was more to learn. And that's the point. You think about how many people could be better martial arts and just choose to be another Joe Rogan. Not good. You know, challenge yourself. Be better. Like, yeah, there's phonies. But don't be irresponsible and be like, this is why it's, you know, that this is evidence that they're all phonies. It's not. It's evidence that phonies exist. I mean, you don't believe all conspiracy theories, do you? I sure hope not. I mean, some very few come true once in a while, and once in a blue moon. But you don't believe them all, do you? Especially the really crazy ones. Yeah, that's the point. Because sometimes they're based on a very, very small truth that people just blow the hell up. It's the same thing. A very, very small truth that a very small percentage of jerks exist somewhere that try to pretend to be martial artists. And really, they're just fat slobs that want to be content creators and harass the Shaolin temples and pay them to do these things. And they probably have to take it because of some political mumbo jumbo in the area or something. It's really that crazy. Let's see what we're at. I was gonna stay on with you guys until we ran out of battery. I'm hungry. Yeah, I'm hungry. What do you guys want to do? Should I get something to eat with you guys? Or should I wait? Should I just end the stream and get food? Do you guys want to hang out? I feel like everybody's hanging out listening to me talk. That's okay. If you guys like want me to just keep talking, I can do that. I don't mind. Yeah, I mean, like I can talk martial arts forever. I can talk a lot of stuff, but I mean that, heck yeah, yeah. Obviously that. I just wish I could show you guys more without it being a thing, if that makes sense. You know, people trying to steal the art and pretend to be. Well, see that's exactly it. You know, you get that. That's the point. You know, that's the dangers of you know, like you get the dollar store people, you know, the dollar store martial artists, the armchair, you know, the guys that watch videos and just try to, you know, do something with that, and then eventually they're a martial arts instructor, you know, or something like that. It's like, man, nobody ranked you, nobody, you know, gave you accreditation toward that, you know, that sort of thing. We give you a black belt test, or black sash. We had sashes, kung fu had sashes, but yeah, like same thing. The reason why, so sashes are just better because then like they mold to the body. Sashes were originally something that um, martial artists, they weren't for ranking and stuff. We've used those with coloring now to help people understand goals, meet goals, and rank and stuff, and understand how to overcome goals in martial arts, and just ascend to the next level and just understand how to learn everything. You know, just like in school you have, you know, chapters and marking periods and stuff. It's the same thing. You would want to build it like that for people to understand. You have to. And so you know, essentially, sashes originally came about from like the old days when they did the internal martial arts and stuff like that. They'd use sashes for various things. Oftentimes they would just have them to keep their robes closed before they used the crisscross. But then even after the crisscross, a lot of times they would just have the sash to keep it, like when they were doing spins and doing all kinds of stuff, to keep it from like shifting around when they would do that. And then sometimes they would use it to wrap something. Maybe they'd rip a piece off. They'd get injured. They just wrap a leg or something. Like that's why you see that in like the anime and stuff, where they just have a piece of cloth. That's why, because the martial artists back in the old day, they'd have the sash. They would just cut a piece off, rip it off with their tiger claws or whatever, and just, it was just a sash. They probably had several. Yeah, usually they were a lot longer too. For that reason, they go around quite a few times. Some of them would use them as weapons too. Yeah, some of them manipulated. People, oh yeah, it's fake. Uh, some of the that's what's dumb about it, is like there's this whole section that he doesn't even know about, and so like a lot of the manipulations and stuff um, started, you know, they found out about a lot of that stuff by essentially using like cloth, and then finding out that when you wrap cloth around something, you can yank on it really quick before it unwinds and pull something. And that's how chain whip works. That's how like all that stuff works. You know, the idea that you lash forward, wrap, and yank. You know, it's like a Indiana Jones. You know, like, oh yeah, he's taking a whip that's like 6 feet long and hanging from it. Yeah, that's what the concept's from. So like the point is that, you know, you wrap a ball around this. Suddenly it makes sense. Yeah, the point is you wrap, so you they would keep like little spikes or something like that, and then like have a loop on the end. So they'd put the sash around the end of the loop, and then throw the spike essentially, and then just yank, and that's where like some of that came from. But the sashes originally, a lot of the manipulation stuff, like I said, came from like understanding the internals and the way movement and stuff work. But then also you have a sash where you can use that to manipulate too, and you start understanding more of the grappling using two hands together. Interesting stuff. Wow, it is really raining, huh? You guys want to like make food? I should make food. Let's go make food. Everybody left. Why'd everybody leave? Oh, I know why. Nope, I know why. I know why everybody left. Here we go. We need this. Wait a minute. Where is it? There we go. There we go. Yep. Now we'll have plenty of people in here. Everybody left. Now we'll have plenty of people in here. Oh yeah. Yeah. Now we got the bubbles back. So now we'll have. Now we'll have. I'm just kidding. What's up? Hello? Isn't that German? Hello? Hello? Isn't that German? Hello? 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 I wonder, like, can I put you up here? Like, I'm just trying to put you guys down somewhere. There you go. There you go. I'm just trying to like put you guys down some. I want to make like pizza or something. I guess we lost you. I think we have a jokester screwing around. Yeah, I'm getting a little tired of it. Yeah. Somebody thinks they're clever and they're trying to get the stream to end. Essentially, like every time I walk away, they do this on the other stream too. Yeah, like these whatever jackass is doing this, they're running a shitload of scripts. They're like trying to push things to crash the stream the very second that I walk away. Fucking weird. It's time for pizza. The quality just got so much better. House 242. Is that you 365? Yeah, does it get worse if my face is in the shot? No. Should be fine right now. There shouldn't be a single issue with the quality now. Is that why I held up the pizza box? No, this is a stream. I'm being entertaining. Showing you guys what pizza I'm making. Yes, that's why everything I do has some agenda. Yep. Everything I do has some agenda. When I walked away just now, I was really quickly like hacking into something. Yep, totally. I didn't go to the bathroom. Yeah, when I walked away just now, well, that's a you problem. That's your device that's doing that. So essentially, what happens is, while the video is processing while it's live, whatever device that you're watching on needs to essentially switch. So if it's on the auto, it's going to always do that. If you set it to a setting, it won't. However, if you do that when I'm live, it will probably just start doing this or stop or cause an issue for you. So it's always good to do that auto for that reason, so it can adjust. It'll never be the same because YouTube's processing. It's processing while I'm live, so essentially it's going to look like crap. Now it'll probably look like crap anyway because, you know, cell service and such. But not anymore. It's gonna look like crap now. Now it just look good. Yep, now it should look good. I'm gonna surf. I'm gonna go pizza surfing. Pizza surfing. A lot of times, yeah, they gotta fix that. A lot of times they have on these Surfer Boy pizzas, like this one's not so bad, but they have like all the garlic and stuff. Like, I don't know if you guys can kind of see. Here, let me turn this on. There's a light. There it is. They have like, can you guys kind of see a little bit? So, see how like there's like a section here where there's like just a bunch of freaking like oregano and parsley. I don't know if it's basil probably, but garlic, like diced garlic and stuff too. So essentially what that is their automated system drops it on the pizza in 3 different places and that's it. And they need to clean like whatever nozzle or whatever is dropping that. It's just dropping it in one place instead of spreading it out like it should. So like whatever, you know, like whatever like processing facility makes this or whatever, it's just the thing that drops it needs to be cleaned because it's just dropping. Like look, it's all like right here. Hold on, yes, or I'll open it. Look how there's like just a crap load. Hold on, where is it? Like right up here. Here, I'll turn off the freaking bubbles. Hold on. I don't need bubbles. We'll do that. Now look up here. Where did it go? See it? There's like all this right here. It's literally like just not like just all the garlic on the pizzas in the one spot. See that? Now you can kind of see it. It's like all right here. It's literally all the garlic on the pizza just in like 2 seconds. That's like the only thing I'll say about it. Like they need to fix that. Cause like, all right, so it's not as frozen. So now I can kind of spread it out myself. But I can't do that, and I shouldn't have to. Yeah, there's just like glumped sections of it. There's like a whole section here. There was a whole section up here. Instead of it like actually being spread around the pizza. Oh yeah, we need more garlic to do that. Garlic's my favorite in Vampire Survivor. Well, one of my favorite Vampire Survivors. Black and white. Oh, God. Black and white. Oh, God. Now we're going to finesse the pizza. We're going to put the pizza in the oven and finesse the pizza. Finesse. Oh, that guy. The guy that does that. He just like chops meat and does that. I feel like it's an old horror movie. Attack of the Killer Pizza. So remember all those cheesy old horror movies where like, you know, somebody's just like, it's late, that they wake up, they need a snack, they come down to the kitchen, they hear a sound, they're like, and then they're like looking around. Oh, I guess it was nothing, and then it all returns to normal, and then like you're supposed to think nothing's gonna happen, even though you know something's about to happen because it all returns to normal. Then all of a sudden, the pizza comes to life, or like the gremlins are coming out of the cabinets or something. You know. All those cheesy '80s horror movies. You gotta love them. Let's see. Too much contrast on this one. How's this one? That one's better. Yeah, I like that one. Too much contrast. So we're gonna eat some za. So that'll take a little bit. What do we do? What do you guys want to do? Should we talk some more? Yeah, that'll be a little bit. It'll be a little bit. It'll be a little bit. That's my new song. It'll be a little bit. Yep, that's my new song. I just made it. It'll be a little bit. It'll be a little bit. Sounds like a Five Finger Death Punch song. I don't look for trouble. Trouble looks for me. That's how it's always been. That's how it's gonna be. It's gonna be a little bit. We're gonna have to wait about 10 minutes. Yep, that's all I got. Good song, right? That's the best thing you've ever heard. Like that's like Stairway quality, right? Yeah, you know it. Sorry, I had to freak out a little bit for a second. Who's in here? Who's in here? Where is she? Do you guys remember how intense that was? That was so intense when we first saw that. Do you remember when the light just comes on and Batman's just standing behind Joker and you're just like, and he just goes, boom! And he's just like, oh, are we really seeing this right now? Oh, man. That was the moment, right? Wasn't that the moment in the crossover? They should have done it. Yep, they should have totally done it. No, I'm just kidding. The Dark Knight was perfect. But it would have been cool to do a crossover event where they go back like they did in the comics and have that be the moment where Superman comes in and he's had enough of Joker's crap. Yeah, wouldn't that be great if that was the moment in time they chose? And he's had enough of Joker's crap. That would have been perfect, I think. Yeah, Heath Ledger's Joker, that particular one. I think it would have been perfect for it. Because like he nailed that well enough that was such a good Joker that yeah, I believe that would be the one to drive Superman to that point. Yeah, for sure, that makes sense. That was such a good Joker. Yeah, that was the point. Was didn't he kill Lois? Like pretty badly, pretty in a pretty terrible. Like we're not going to talk about how or why, but like I think it was pretty terrible, and yeah, and then that was like the evil that led to his evil arc, right? He. So essentially, essentially the Joker, all that stuff, where Batman's like, well, where are they? Like the whole idea in comics, it happened, but that when it happens in the comics, the idea is the crossover event. Superman comes in because he killed Lois, and he just bursts through the wall, and just literally just doesn't he just rip him in half, sort of like Thanos, or does he melt him? I don't even know. He does something. Just I don't know if he just like crushes his head or like it's something bad. And Batman's just like, and that starts like his evil arc. That starts like the evil Superman, because that's the moment he does that. That's the point. There's no return. That's kind of the point. You're not a hero anymore. That's the point. So it's like a no return point. So he has to never do that. So that's the point. It starts like his evil arc where he questions himself. Sort of like with Spider-Man 3, except better. Spider-Man 3 would have been good if they would have let Sam Raimi do the 2-movie thing that he wanted to do, where Venom was the follow-up movie. It would have been so much better than trying to throw the symbiote in that movie. Yeah. Newsflash, it's only been a few minutes. Yeah, man. PC code. That's a Starship Enterprise. It's the original one though. It's not next gen because it just says 1701. So it's the first one. Wasn't next gen? I think it was D 1701D, I believe, which is the fourth Enterprise. A B C D.